if you've got a Google form that you've made and you want to share with somebody else so they can use a copy of it for themselves, it's not obvious how to do that so that your form doesn't get damaged in the process. So I'm going to show you now how to go about doing that in the best way. So the first thing you want to do is to get your form, and you want to start by probably making a copy of it. So here I've got my form, and I'm going to keep this original version myself, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to make a copy so that I've got a copy that I can share with other people. That way, if your copy is edited, which is possible, then your original version will still be there. So here's the copy of the form. Now, we're not going to leave the copy of the form in here with the original. We're going to make a folder. I'm just going to call this Shared Forms. And I'm going to drag my copy of the form into that folder and go and look at it in there. Now, of course, you can name this form whatever you want. So you might want to not leave it as copy of my form, but I'm going to do that just so we know which one we're talking about. So if I double click and open my form, then as it is at the moment, I'm the only person who can edit this still. So what I need to do is go to the three dots menu in the top right and click on Add Collaborators. Now, I'm not going to add any specific collaborators. I'm going to set up a link so that anybody who has the link can get a copy of this form. If you wanted to add specific people, you'd put their email address in the top here. First thing I'm going to do though is just change the settings under the cog menu there, because by default Google lets editors change permissions and share, and we don't want that on there. We do want viewers to be able to download and copy, so we'll leave that as it is. So now I go to the Get Link section at the bottom here and click on that, and you get these options, and it says restricted, which means that only the people who are added by email address can open it. We don't want that. We want to make it viewable for other people, so I'm going to change it to anyone with the link. Now, this is important. By default, Google then sets it as an editor. We want to change that for any documents except forms, but for forms you can't change it because forms are designed to be edited. Now that's what causes the problem when sharing forms, is that we can't create a read-only copy of the form. So that's why we needed to have a duplicate in case this form gets edited. We're going to do something to try and stop that happening, but it's still possible. So we now need to copy the link. Now, if I went and I pasted the link into the browser, what you'll see is it's basically the same form. This number at the top here is the ID. That's the bit that tells Google which form it is. And then we've got this bit at the end that says edit USP equals sharing. Now, what we want to do is we want to change this link so that that part there, instead of saying edit and then something, instead we want it to say copy. So I'm going to type in copy in place of that last part. Now, if I hit enter now, what it will do, it will ask if I want to make a copy of my form. Now, my form, remember, was the name we called it, okay? So this is the link that you need to send to people. So I'm going to copy that from there with the copy at the end, and I'm going to paste it wherever I wanted to send people to go to. And then if they then go and make a copy, so let's open up a new window, and if I wanted to make a copy of this, I go to that link, it will say make a copy of the form, and I can click on that and it will make a brand new copy of that form. And if you look at the top, the name of it is copy of my form, because it's the copy of the copy we made originally. So that way anybody can make a copy of the form and it won't affect your original version. Now, the one thing to be aware of is that if they did then edit the original version, so they edited this version here, if they changed that link back to edit before making a copy, they would then be editing your form. This is the copy of my form, the one that we put in that shared folder. And that's why we want to make sure that we've made this copy so that that copy of my form is not our original form. Our original form is still here where we made it originally. So that's the best way of sharing a form to be copied on Google Forms. I hope you found that useful. If you did, please can you like this video? That tells YouTube this was useful and other people are more likely to find it. See you in the next video.